Welcome back. You are live with Expresso. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are loving being able to delve into a range of different disorders, anxiety disorders today, but so many things that so many of us are dealing with, and we just need someone to shine a light, just to offer a hand, just to maybe provide that one piece of vital information that's going to change our perception. Very important for me, and I would imagine for you as well. Anxiety disorders within children. We feel like we should be able to protect our children, we should be able to help them through anything, but an anxiety disorder is such a complex issue to face. How do you approach, how do first of all anxiety disorders exhibit in children? Is it different to adults?
So very real problem for many parents, and to understand the normal development stages in children when it comes to learning new skills, so the social overwhelming issues of a 3, 4, 5-year-old even making new friends, learning to share their toys, share their space, meeting new children. For some kids already from that age, you can see that it's a major stressor in terms of just meeting other kids and the social anxieties around it. Difficult when you're looking at energy levels in hyperactive children or children with ADD, for example, attention deficit, where you're not sure whether the fact that they are so busy and not hearing you give an instruction at home, or even just responding to that instruction, is due to something that's normal for the age group, or due to an early underlying anxiety. So I think the important thing here would be learning patterns of your children's behavior in different situations, getting feedback from the teachers at school and how they're socializing. We as parents are often so nervous about us missing something on our kids that we are actually over anxious.
We are the
and they do model behavior on what they see at home. So parents that are concerned about their children being anxious, remember, they need a solid foundation. They need to see security. They need strong guidelines, boundaries. They need surety in a routine at a very young age. And then, obviously, you'd have to get feedback as to how they're doing on the different fronts from the teachers, from the preschool teachers even, and the social interactions to have that. And you need quality time with your children to assess these things. The problem is so many of us have nannies and domestic workers raising our children when we're not home. And then we see them for a window period and a snapshot, and then we don't really know what's going on for 6 hours of the day. And I think that's also part of the challenge for many of us.
Take the time to educate yourself, even if you can't be there all the time, which is a reality for most people, let's be honest. Take the time to get to know it. And I think a lot of us also, especially with a 2-year-old, you're more worried about what other people are thinking of you and the scene, and you're forgetting that your attention needs to be there, and that's what you need to do, is kind of change. That's why I used the term short circuit earlier. Something that's really interesting to me, and I think probably a bit of a grey area for a lot of us that aren't educated, is when does an anxiety attack begin and end? When does a disorder begin and end? Where does a phobia begin and end? Because we need to label these things to be able to understand them. Maybe for people who are caught in the throes of something, how do these differ?
Yeah, so phobias are quite interesting. Whether you have a fear of driving in traffic or a fear of speaking in front of people, a phobia is a fear and a feeling of anxiety that is disproportionate to the actual trigger or event.
Is that genetic, or is it learned?
Yeah, so
is it situational?
It's often mimicked in mirror neurons. Fear of heights often runs in families. Fear of cockroaches runs in families.
Wow.
So there's so many of those, because the child will see his parents from a very young age fearing certain
jumping on a chair
with a small little insect. And you often then they have that association of impending doom, danger, protect myself. So some of them are transferred. Other children obviously have the resilience and the ability not to actually mirror that and move on. So there certainly is a genetic component when it comes to anxiety disorders, but there are also lots of medical conditions that can bring that out as well. What we do know is anxiety is accentuated by excess stress, lack of sleep, and eating poorly, and then no recreational activity like exercise or pleasurable activities that give you obviously that kick of that's it.
Fun, yeah.
So if you're having all those things in short supply, you're more likely to start becoming anxious.
And when you're feeling out of control, these are all things that you can control.
Correct.
Sleep, food, enjoyment, exercise. These are things that are within your grasp. We're going to continue to look at, maybe expand on some of the solutions, the treatments that are available for anxiety disorders. And of course, we are running on our social media platforms throughout this month, but certainly today, a helpline, resources. You can see it on screen right now as we speak. A number that you can call, the Anxiety and Depression Group in South Africa. Brilliant at the work that they do. Some very well trained, empathetic people that can talk to you, help you through what is probably one of the most difficult things that you can go through. So please use that resource. We'll continue our discussion with Dr. Darren Green after the news.
In the national news this morning, the renaming of Grahamstown to Makhanda will be decided in the High Court after local organizations have complained that the process was invalid. Anti-name changers say the renaming was based on incorrect historical information. Western Cape Education MEC Debbie Schaefer wants parents to prioritise checking their children's application status for the 2020 school admissions. More than 85,000 applications have yet to be confirmed. Now moving further abroad, African leaders have launched a 55-nation continental free trade zone that, if successful, would unite 1.3 billion people, create a $3.4 trillion economic bloc, and usher in a new era of development. An Amsterdam museum has begun the biggest ever restoration of Rembrandt's famous painting, The Night Watch, and is inviting people to watch live. It's been placed inside a specially designed glass chamber so that it can be viewed while being restored. And finally, one of Amsterdam's most famous tourist attractions, De Walletjes, is to be overhauled, and not everybody is happy about it. The city's mayor, Femke Halsema, has announced options to radically revamp the city's red light district, including closing down brothels in the city centre and banning sex workers standing in window-fronted rooms. She says the new proposals are an effort to protect sex workers from gawking tourists and to combat a rise in human trafficking. But sex workers say banning women from advertising themselves in the red light windows would remove the city's top tourist attraction, and that their visibility anyway makes them feel safer. Other plans include an erotic city zone with a clear entrance gate. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Touching on those major headlines in tennis, the greats Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal and reigning world number one Novak Djokovic, they all cruised into the 2019 Wimbledon quarterfinals. In football, Crystal Palace forward Wilfried Zaha scored the winner for Ivory Coast, who beat Mali 1-0 to reach the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals. That while Tunisia stunned Ghana in a penalty shootout to advance. Of course, Bafana taking on Nigeria's Super Eagles tomorrow. Then in aquatics, South African swimmers Tatiana Schoenmaker and Taylor Lovemore, they've claimed their second gold medals at the 2019 Summer Universiade. That while Michael Hooley posted a new record during the fifth day of competition in Italy. And throwing forward to today's Cricket World Cup action, the first semi-final takes place between the big guns, India, probably the favourites at this stage, and New Zealand, kicking off 11:30 South African time. We'll expand on those headlines one more time this morning.
Well, taking a look at what's happening on our roads this morning, let's head to KwaZulu-Natal. In Durban North, there's been an accident on the N2 southbound after Queen Nandi Drive. The left lane is currently obstructed, so please approach with caution. Also, in the Western Cape at Table View, there are road closures in Sunningdale between Brazelton Road and Sunningdale Drive due to a construction incident last night. Please make use of alternative routes this morning, and also keep in mind that traffic will be heavily congested in Table View, and maintain a safe following distance due to the heavy mist in Cape Town at the moment as well. Also, Metro Rail in the Central Line, there is an extended travel time between 30 to 40 minutes due to sets out of service and infrastructure problems in various areas. So commuters are advised to make use of an alternative mode of transport between the Philippi and Captain's Clip line. Well, that was your traffic update. Let's get another look at what's happening with the weather. So we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures, and Gerke Strechen sent us this spectacular sunrise picture all the way from Durban, where sunny conditions can be expected with clear skies and little to no wind, reaching a maximum of 23 degrees. Also other areas, Polokwane, your low this morning is 7 with your high 24. The highest temperature in the country today is at Mbombela with a low of 10 and a high of 28 degrees. Pretoria, your low is 6 and your high is 23. Some clear skies for Johannesburg with a low of 5 reaching 21 degrees. Mahikeng, your low is 5 reaching 26. A cold start to the morning for Klerksdorp with a low of 2 and a high of 21 degrees. Kimberley 22 with a low temperature, the lowest temperature in the country. Bloemfontein -1 reaching 21 degrees. Some high humidity for Richards Bay 13 reaching 24 degrees today, and some high humidity for Pietermaritzburg with a low of 7 reaching 24 degrees. Durban 14-23, Mthatha 4-25, a southwesterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour for East London with a low of 12 reaching 22. Cradock, your low is 3 reaching 24. Southwesterly wind of 24 kilometers per hour for Port Elizabeth with a low of 9 reaching 19 degrees. George, a low of 10 rising to 19. Sutherland 4-20. Cape Town 10 reaching 18 degrees. Worcester 7 rising to 24. Springbok a low of 11 rising to 25. And Uppington, your low is 6 reaching 26 degrees today. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. I'll have another weather update for you at 8 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Lee. We are talking about anxiety disorders being Mental Health Awareness Month. Closing off our discussion now, we're going to obviously look at some treatment options that are available. I'm going to ask this first because people do suffer from anxiety disorders for their entire life. If it is treatable, if we can overcome them, why do some people stay locked in that space for their entire life, remain on medication possibly for their entire life?
Yeah, so the evidence shows that treating someone with medication alone for anxiety is definitely less effective than treating someone with medication plus all the other tools and interventions that we're probably going to talk about now. Things like, for example, the lifestyle modifications, equipping people with skills for stress coping mechanisms, mindfulness, for example. I mean, the recent studies have shown 15 minutes, if you can work towards 15 minutes twice a day, Graham, it would make an incredible difference.
Shout it at me, dude.
15 minutes. Start off with 5 minutes, looking at the toilet roll holder while you're in the toilet.
Man, it's
just focusing on something, just to become aware of where you're at and not judging the thoughts and responding to all of them, you know. Mindfulness, selective, focused attention twice a day for 15 minutes is a good place to start. Then, obviously, your sleeping habits, your exercise habits, your eating habits. I haven't got to medication yet. There are groups of drugs that are used, long-term solutions, certain groups of drugs that are antidepressants, for example. That needs to be matched and chosen and discussed with you for your profile, because there's side effects to taking medication long-term. And then the immediate drugs, a group of drugs called the benzodiazepines, that help people calm down in an acute panic attack. The problem with that group of drugs is it's highly addictive. It makes you drowsy, so you can't operate machinery.
Over everything.
Right, it numbs you completely. So that's not a long-term solution. But more than that is a wonderful technique called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, where that's actually addressing your cognitions, your thoughts around the things that drive your anxiety and your response to different triggers in the environment, how we modify your response to those specific issues by your thought processes with short-term plans on how to intervene.
Where do people get that?
So
how do people start
very
that process?
few psychologists are actually specialized to actually train in therapy with CBT. So you would start by looking at your area, Googling, for example, cognitive behavioral therapy, qualified CBT centers in South Africa, and start looking. It's a technique that's been around for quite a while. Psychiatrists and psychologists both can be trained up to actually use that technique in equipping you with tools on how to control the thought process around anxiety. And research also shows that it increases, for example, the serotonin levels. They took a group of patients that had antidepressants, and they took a group of patients that had CBT only, and obviously they measure the responses in terms of serotonin levels, which is one of the obviously mood regulating neurotransmitters. And they actually found an increase in the neurotransmitter levels even in the group without medication. So that's quite important.
So we want a perfect storm of all of these things, which is easier said than done when you're caught in the grips of an anxiety disorder. So what do you recommend as the first place to start? What are some of those lifestyle changes, maybe that first step towards a different life, a different future for
I think
yourself?
Just deciding that you want to change what the current situation is. So knowing that your irritability, you're not liking the way that you have a short, snappy fuse to your wife, to your children, to anybody else out there, that's not me. So there's something happening in me that I need to change, because that doesn't define who I am. I'm more than this. And then obviously introducing an intervention at a time, and not trying to turn over a new forest in one day. So decide, I'm going to go for a walk today first. For half an hour, I'm going to start by going for a walk for a half an hour in the afternoon. Whether it's around the block with your kids, your family, whatever, do it. Just start with something, and then you'll find...
Literally take that first step.
Just the first step, and then you'll find that triggers then a bit of a positive achievement of you actually having done something about it. And then the breathing is so important. Breathing and anxiety and panic attacks, the way that you regulate your breathing sometimes. If you're feeling flustered, take yourself out of multiple sensory stimulation in terms of lights, noise, etc. Too many people. Take yourself out into a quiet place to actually just gather your thoughts, and then focus on one thing at a time by breathing properly, maybe even listening to some music, and then obviously address the other things one at a time.
Thank you so much. I do feel a lot calmer. I'm a little bit more afraid of spiders, but I feel much better about life. A very important number, I think, for everyone to have 0800 456 789. That's the South African Anxiety and Depression Group, an incredible collection of people doing some amazing work in this space. Just know that you're not alone. So many of us are experiencing one level of anxiety or another, but if it's progressing too far, if it's starting to move into that space of being a disorder where it's controlling your behavior and you feel like you can't escape, you're caught in the grips of it, get help from someone. You can have a much better experience of life. Doc, thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you.
Absolutely love you, dude.
Of course, it's time for us to catch up with you, our Expresso family, on social media, where we posted the question, how do you deal with anxiety and stressful situations? And some really interesting answers coming through. Tony says meditation, a daily gratitude journal, and affirmations. Dorothea says take up knitting or crocheting, best stress reliever, and you get to make something wonderful as well. Gabriella says I go for long walks on the beach, fresh air, exercise, so good for you. And Msingo says, each and every day I wake up and drink a lot of water and also exercise. That's pretty cool. Fundiswa says, I personally sing my favorite songs out loud, do yoga, drink a lot of water, try making some feel-good memories, and it always works like a charm. And also Aria says, morning I drink tea and herbal tea from, yes, that place. And then also, Michelle saying, take 3 to 4 deep breaths and inhale slowly. G, get in here. I love how everybody has a remedy, and I think, you know what, whenever you're feeling a bit anxious or stressful, these are pretty good. Deep breath, huh?
I remember a colleague of mine once asking me, why do you breathe all the time? So I don't have to kill someone.
Why
but we do. We just woosah. It's amazing what you can achieve just by knowing your body a little bit better, having these kind of very simple little triggers, things to do. Very important discussion. We can continue this the entire day, in fact, probably the entire year. If you've got some great tips on how to deal with stressful situations, anxiety that's overwhelming you, feed them to us. For me, cooking is a great way to de-stress, and French toast is probably the best thing to cook for me.
Talking about French toast, we've been hanging out with Good Luck all morning long. They're on screen.
What's up, gang?
Hey, guys! And we catch up with a delicious savoury French toast recipe after the break, huh? That's going to be good. From
Look at that space, man.
Bon boy.
Good boy! Discover the new language of travel. Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, rewards reimagined.
Hi, I'm Brendan Paper. I was on Tropical Island of Treasure Season 8 with Lizanne Lazarus. We were Team Red and we won.
I brought the brains and Brendan definitely brought the brawn. And together, we made a smooth team.
Tropical Island of Treasure was a great experience for me. It was my first time overseas. I've never been out of South Africa. So being there was like a dream come true, and it's a fairy tale.
From the moment the first episode started airing, it was instant fame for me. I mean, Durban is a small town, and I literally became like Durban's little sweetheart. Everywhere I went, people were watching the show and supporting.
For us as artists and musicians, it's great exposure. I broadened my horizons to a new market.
Well, if you're talking about fame and fortune, I mean, R500,000 rand ain't that bad.
As soon as me and Lizanne won the R1 million, I decided to put on a deposit on my first farm. It was a big dream from when I was a little boy. To have this place means a lot to me. Every time I'm here, I can just be myself and just be one with nature, looking out as far as the eye can see. It's just an awesome experience.
What did I do with my money? A bit too much, I think. I obviously took myself to the shops and had a little shopping spree. And then I bought myself one of my dream cars and I contributed to my charity, like I said I would.
I'd say if the opportunity comes to you, I'd take it because it's a free holiday. Whether you win or not, you still get an amazing experience.
Auditions for Season 9 launch in August. So here's your chance to win fame and fortune, just like I did.
If you're talking about a smooth experience, this would be it.
Tropical Island of Treasure Season 9 on the beautiful Caribbean island of Curacao.
Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's time for a little bit of feel good. So good.
So good indeed. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, there have been many social media challenges over the years. Some very strange, others very cool. Today, we're going to look at some videos of people attempting what has been named the Bottle Cap Challenge. Now, the basis of this challenge is to try to kick the cap off a bottle by using a roundhouse kick. But people have been getting very creative. So, I don't know if you saw this one, Jason.
You've got to see the original, Jason Statham.
Let's check it out. His was by far the best.
Yeah. Now look okay, obviously he has a lifetime of kung fu training and experience to be able to do this. Good head turn. Look, bearing in mind, we don't know how many.
Oh, yes, like a ninja.
Look, I mean, he does all his own stunts, his own fight scenes. What he does in the Transformer stuff is like Jackie Chan-ish, so he's amazing.
And I feel like he did that with the first round.
He might have been the only person on the planet to do the bottle cap challenge the first time. But people are getting very creative. Let's take a look at another attempt of a different gentleman. That's all I'm going to say. Take a look at this.
All right.
Oh, look at that. He's got a good
Okay.
head spin.
No one's holding
Looks-
the bottle, which is great.
And that would be me.
Cool.
And then, wait for it.
And then, oh,
I missed your
come
head.
on.
But I'm so cool and hardcore because I missed your head.
Okay. Wow, that's actually quite amazing. Kids, do not try that at home, okay? Ever.
But if he had kicked the bottle cap in the air and then shot it, that would have been levels. But
right.
it's not American enough. He's not American enough to be able to do that.
Well, stay with the topic of other means. Check out this driver taking the challenge to another level.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my word. I saw this
Oh,
one.
wow.
You.
Ding.
Okay. Well, that's a
cool.
cork. So that's definitely some next level stuff.
And you know, it would have taken a lot for Jason Statham to look at it and go, like, oh, I wish I'd done that. But he's probably looking at this going, man, I actually wish that I'd done that in the car with the thing. That could be him.
Scene from Hobbs and Shaw. Who knows?
Because he does a lot of his own driving stunts as well. So that might just be Jason's. We're going to call this Jason Appreciation Day.
Exactly.
Absolutely love it, man.
Well, he wasn't the only celebrity that did the challenge. Justin Bieber also took part in this. He captioned it and said, I nominate Tom Cruise and Hailey Bieber. It's obviously obvious that the Biebs actually does want to fight old Tommy, despite telling perhaps that he was just messing around when he sent out that bizarre tweet. But let's have a look at how he did it.
He will beat you, son.
This could be Tom Cruise's head.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not backwards.
Wow. And I feel like the bottle's also a little elevated, so he had to actually jump and do the roundhouse
I don't know. I mean,
kick.
we could find fault with a lot of these things.
I know.
I think the roundhouse kick, you got to do the back roundhouse kick. Just looks cooler.
But here's one that you might find a lot of fault with. Are you ready, G?
I'm ready,
Are you
man.
ready?
I'm ready.
Mariah Carey
You go,
also
girl. Come
brought
on.
her A game to the challenge, and this is how she got rid of the bottle cap.
You can do it.
Whoa.
And it's actually, most of us, our ears are ringing, so that might actually be conceivable.
Wow, I am at a loss for words. I think there might have been a little trickery there, but anyway.
Just a little bit of trickery. She paid the bottle top to leave the bottle. No, it was the assistant was shaking so much. Okay, so one of my favorite actors who also does a lot of really cool action stuff, Ryan Reynolds, he had his own take, as you'd expect.
Of course.
And he also has a brand of vodka or whiskey, so I'm sure.
Why does he be so persistent? Aye, Ryan. Only Ryan, huh? Oh, gotta love him.
I feel that was like more close to what I would be like.
Exactly.
Kind of
I didn't
man.
see you do yours.
I'll give it a go.
Okay, I nominate you.
I nominate you, miniskirt, boots and all. I nominate you. We're just going to have to put the bottle on the ground. Or maybe you've given it a shot. Maybe you've given a bottle top challenge. Let's see. Tabiso, have you
guys,
done it?
in all my years in music, consuming it, the one thing I have learned, okay, is that you cannot make hits on an empty stomach.
No.
This is very true.
It's very true. And I brought my appetite here to the Good Luck Studios this morning at their headquarters. Check this kitchen out. It's absolutely stunning. We'll give you a bit of a run through a little bit later on so you can see all the really cool elements of it. But guys, who usually feeds you around here? Ta-da!
No, it's definitely a team effort. Everyone has their dishes. Chucky likes to cook certain things. Jules likes to cook certain things.
Chucky, you like to cook?
I do actually. I actually got inspired by Ben, and then actually Jules she's a bit modest. She's actually really good also.
No, I'm not great, but I tell you what, Ben taught Chucky, and now Chucky beats Ben at certain dishes.
But you're also, Jules, you're a feeder of note because since I've been here, you've offered me just about everything in the fridge, in the cupboards. You've laid it all out.
She's our tour mom.
Oh, that is just fantastic. Well, listen, this is really exciting for me. It's really exciting for me because you guys are going to make a nice, delectable French toast experience for us. Extravaganza.
A la eggy bread.
Yeah, okay, cool. So what have you got here? What are you going to be doing?
Okay, so we're going to start making the custard. Okay, I learned this on Chef the other night that you have to crack it on the table, not the glass.
Okay,
I'm going to try. I've never done it before.
I hope you're not as clumsy as I am.
One-handed. Oh no, you have to do it harder than that. Okay, and then you have to do it. Oh, I got shell in there. Terrible. Okay, let me do it again.
Okay, we're off to a good start.
I'm trying to get this right. See, spray all of it over his tooth.
Did you get more?
Amazing.
I think 2 is enough.
We've got to eat
No, let's
this
do all of
afterwards,
them.
eh?
Let's do all of them, okay? Hold on. I'm just going to do it the way I normally do it.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, okay.
I think the chef way is a little with the car is a little bit.
Nice.
Don't follow Jules' approach.
Do you guys just like hang around and watch Tall Mum do the stuff?
Watch
What do you do?
I mean, I think Jules reads us well. As soon as we're off the plane, we're ready. She's already thinking about food and everything.
Only a dash is more.
Only a dash. I think you need more than this.
No, you just need a dash.
But here's a fascinating thing I've just learned about you, Ben. We were chatting, Jules and I, and she tells me that you actually make your own bread. You bake bread from scratch because you love homemade.
I love making pasta. I love making bread. I love baking. I love cooking.
Yeah.
Actually, let's be honest. I love eating.
So you have to make the
food. My rule is, and I always never understand when you meet people who don't know how to cook. I'm like, do you like eating? And everyone always says that they love eating.
Yeah, and I do.
So I mean, I think it's easy. Let's get that eggy custard in here. And
How many band members does it take to crack an egg?
Apparently quite a few.
Hey, wait, you didn't put the salt and pepper in.
Yeah, well, you season second and first.
You in charge of
it. Okay, so now what we can do is we can
flip them over,
and then you can season, Jules. There you go. So you can get excited about your seasoning.
My sleeve. There we go. Okay, we do a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Easy on the salt.
And while this is happening, we've got a little hot pan with a little bit of oil and butter in it.
Yeah. Just that's going there.
And it depends how you like your eggy toast.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe it's you like it really soaked. Maybe you like it just light.
Yeah, I think it must be soaked.
But you guys, you spend so much time here.
Yes.
Literally, you arrive really early in the mornings, and other times you're here till
late.
like the wee hours the next day.
Yeah, sure.
You must then spend a lot of time here in the kitchen, right?
We do. We cook a lot of meals in this kitchen. I think, eating out is cool and it's fun, but there's nothing like making your own food.
But there's also nothing like when you're in the kitchen and you're really getting bored, having to go through all the old cassette tapes here, looking at all the hits and drawing inspiration from that as you go along.
I know. My favorite is one here. Somebody had handwritten, "Do not record over" one of the tapes here. I can't remember where it is.
You're giving away your age. You know what that means.
Yeah. Do not record over.
Because you've got some gems there.
Yeah, it's really
man.
cool. And you can also learn basic Russian if you feel like it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
This is so cool. Okay, so obviously we need to fast forward this for the purpose of TV because otherwise we might be standing here for a fortnight.
So
we've already got this. What this
earlier.
looks like, what you guys made earlier, which looks fantastic.
You have to get the little bit of the crust, the caramelization on the toast. That's the important
thing. So Chucky, why don't you show us how you like to do it, what you like to stack on?
Yeah. Well, 90% of food is in the presentation, So you gotta make it look good,
I think that's
sounding like a chef, eh?
And then we're gonna add a little cheese over here, just to create a little bit of texture.
Yeah. I do feel like you do a lot more of the eating than the preparation of food, Chucky, around here.
I do. I mean, it's gonna go down the same way, if you're honest.
Did you wash your hands before doing this?
Yeah, of course. That's my first rule in anything. And then the greens. You're not gonna forget about the greens.
Okay. So Ben's not eating this one.
Ben hates
rocket.
Oh,
Ben hates this.
Ben.
It's fine. You can give me
greens
that one.
are good for you, Ben.
I love greens. I just don't like rocket.
Are you making it into a sandwich, or are you just leaving that one spare?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just thought
we're being led by you here. You know that, right? Like, is this it? Is this what we have to know?
I think
Can we make a second one?
Vegetarian option.
Why don't we crush these little tomatoes a little bit?
Yeah, make a vegetarian option. There we go.
Ben has taught me actually a clever way to cut these cherry tomatoes.
Cherry tomatoes, yeah.
Literally just take a plate and then just put it down and then slice through underneath the plate.
But it's starting to come to life. It's looking impressive.
So now we're going to do veggies. Do lots of mushrooms because mushrooms are the deal.
Mushrooms galore. Guys, I can't wait to dig in. 4 of us sharing the 2 slices of your delectable, savory French toast.
Is that all we got? And a little bit of seasoning?
We are on a diet, clearly. We're watching portion control, they call it.
We got salt and pepper.
Look at the salt, babe. I love it. Well, listen, if you're out at home and you're prepping your own breakfast, maybe you know how to make a really impressive, delectable, savory French toast, or any toast for that matter, and you want to share some tips with Good Luck and me.
Tell us.
Why don't you tell us? Exactly. Tell us on Facebook. Go on Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Send us pictures of what yours looks like. This is what our one looks like. And hopefully it doesn't take 3 people to make yours. I mean, Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're gonna eat that in the meantime. It looks amazing, guys. So who's gonna go first? Just to
Jules, you're really good at
eating.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the vegetarian option because I'm all about the veggies at the moment.
Jules says that for the first 5 minutes and then she changes her mind.
It's going to be like eating a plate of bacon. Is it good?
Wow, delish. Pretty cool.
I don't know which one I would go for. I think the more cheese. You've got to have a bit more cheese than that. Come on, Maddie. But I'm proper hungry now. I don't think any of it's going to last. But I think it's really nice to group cook in the morning like that. You can see it's part of their ritual. They're like a family that lives together. They're very much like our vibe. Eh?
Listen, I would live there, eat there, sleep there, everything there. But if you would like that recipe, all you have to do is SMS the keyword breakfast to 33728. We'll gladly send you the link to the recipe and the ingredients list. Super quick, super easy, but definitely delicious.
I love savoury French toast, one of the best things on the planet. We're going to see you with more fun, mayhem and delicious recipes in just a moment.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
Get to a crazy store in your town this school holiday and discover a treasure trove of arts and crafts for the whole family to enjoy, as always, at great value. Paper, paints, modeling clay, sketchbooks, glitter, crayons, aprons, rubber stamps, ribbons, felt tip pens, learn to paint sets, and a whole universe of creative fun at crazy good value. Only at the Crazy Store. Holidaying near or far, there'll be one just about wherever you are.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls, and I really do mean it. It has been such a cool morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue to connect with Good Luck at their studios. Tabiso's having a blast out there, busy gorging himself on French toast as we speak, but it has just gone 8 o'clock, so time for us to catch up with those news headlines.
In the national news this morning, the renaming of Grahamstown to Makanda was headed to the High Court after local organisations complained that the process followed was invalid. Now, according to the Keep Grahamstown campaign, the renaming was also based on incorrect historical information. The campaign's Sigidla Ndumo was confident that the name change would be overturned. Ndumo said they know that the Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, has only considered a small number of the name objections that were submitted. Western Cape Education MEC Debbie Schaefer has called on parents to prioritise checking their children's application status for 2020 school admissions after revealing that more than 85,000 applications had yet to be confirmed. Schaefer said that it was a concern as it meant that while the application was successful, some parents had not indicated their final choice on the system. The department has also urged parents who have not received a positive response to remain calm while they process the second phase of the admissions procedure. Now moving further abroad, African leaders have launched a 55-nation continental free trade zone that, if successful, would unite 1.3 billion people, create a $3.4 trillion economic bloc, and usher in a new era of development. It is hoped that the African Continental Free Trade Area, the largest since the creation of the World Trade Organization in 1994, will help unlock Africa's long-stemmed economic potential by boosting intra-regional trade, strengthening supply chains and spreading expertise. Ghana was announced as the host of the trade zone's future. An Amsterdam museum has begun the largest ever restoration of Rembrandt's famous painting, The Night Watch, and is inviting people to watch live. The masterpiece, created in 1642, has been placed inside a specially designed glass chamber so that it can still be viewed while being restored. The celebrated painting was last restored more than 40 years ago after it was slashed with a knife. The painting is nearly 4 meters tall, 4.5 meters wide, and weighs 337 kilograms. It's viewed by more than 2 million people every year. And finally, at Dayton School in Maine, USA, one learner has inspired a big change in the curriculum. Maury Ballinger, a 6-year-old kindergartner, is the school's first deaf learner, and to make her feel welcome, the entire school opted to teach all the learners American Sign Language. A hearing assistive system was installed, and each teacher training implemented to incorporate sign language into every classroom. Now, sign language posters line the walls of the hallways. Principal Kimberly Sempietro says that the kids absolutely embraced Maury, and in turn, she eagerly helped them learn sign language alphabet. Now, the whole community has embraced sign language, with many learning it on their own. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
We kick it off with tennis and giants. Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and reigning world number 1 Novak Djokovic all cruising into the 2019 Wimbledon quarterfinals. The 20-time Grand Slam winner Federer, who reached a record-extending 17th Wimbledon quarterfinal, will face Kai Nishikori for a spot in the semis. Djokovic and Nadal also continue to breeze through the draw with equally comfortable last 16 wins. On the women's side, though, a massive shock as top seed Ashley Barty crashed out of the competition and was after being beaten by American Alison Risk, who will now take on fellow American Serena Williams later today. Then in football, high stakes now. Crystal Palace forward Wilfried Zaha scored the winner for the Ivory Coast, who beat Mali 1-0 to reach the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals, while Tunisia stunned big guns Ghana in a penalty shootout to advance. So the Black Stars were knocked out of AFCON 2019 after Tunisia beat them 5-4 on penalties. That was when it remained 1-1 after extra time. Ivory Coast will now play Algeria, while Tunisia will face Madagascar in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Of course, Bafana, they'll have to get past the Super Eagles of Nigeria to progress. Then on to swimming. South African swimmers Tatiana Schoenmaker and Taylor Lovemore claimed their second gold medals at the 2019 Summer Universiade. Well, Michael Hooley, he posted a new record during the 5th day of competition in Italy. Schoenmaker won the 200-meter breaststroke, with another South African, Kayleen Corbett, finishing in 4th. Lovemore sprinted her way to a second gold medal in the 100-meter butterfly final, while Michael Hooley, he broke Italian Andrea Toniato's record in the 50-meter breaststroke in the evening semi-finals as well. And then lastly, throwing forward to today's World Cup fixture, it's a big one. The semi-finals have arrived. India probably still the favourites to take the tournament. They're up against New Zealand. That match kicking off at 11:30 today. And that's a wrap of your sport for today.
Money.
Taking a final look at what's happening on our roads this morning, let's head to Gauteng. At Boysons, there is congestion on the M1 northbound. This is between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange. The average travelling speed is 10 kilometres per hour, with delays of up to 30 minutes. Now, taking a look at the Western Cape, specifically at Somerset West on the N2 inbound, there is a stationary vehicle between Lookout Point and Salaris Pass obstructing the left lane. Please approach with caution and maintain a safe following distance due to the heavy mist in Cape Town. Also, the Southern Line on Metro Rail, the T0129 train from Cape Town to Retreat is cancelled due to sets out of service, so please allow for additional travelling time. Well, that was your 8 o'clock traffic update. Here's a final look at the weather.
As always, we are hugely appreciative of your beautiful sunrise pictures, and you've inspired us this morning. Thank you to Linda Morris for your grey skyline from Ibotse Golf Estate in Benoni, as well as our regular photographer Gary Oakham for your amazing orange skyline from East London. Lastly, Harki Strachen for your spectacular sunrise picture from Durbs. Let's look at those temperatures across the land. Polokwane, your low 7, going up to 24 degrees today, highest temperature in the country. In Mbombela, ranging between 10 and 28 degrees. Pretoria, Pretoria 6 and 23. Clear skies for Jersey. 5 is where you kickstart your day, going up to 21 degrees. Mahikeng 5 and 26 degrees your range. Then a cold start this morning, certainly for Kimberley, or Klagstop rather, 2 degrees your low, going up to 21 degrees. Likewise, Kimberley also starting on 2, going up to 22 degrees. Then the lowest temp in the country, again, Bloemfontein, our reigning champ this year, -1 degrees, going up to 21 degrees as your high. Then high humidity in Richards Bay, 13 your low, 24 degrees your maximum. High humidity likewise in Pietermaritzburg, ranging between 7 and 24 degrees. Then moving to sunny old Durbs, your low 14, going up to a moderate 23 by Durban standards. Mthatha 4 and 25 your range. Southwesterly winds of around 20 kilometers an hour expected in East London, where your minimum is 12, going up to a maximum of 22. Cradock chilly start at 3 degrees, but you do go to a sunny 24 degree maximum today. And a southwesterly wind of around 24 k's an hour in Port Elizabeth, where your low is 9 and a high of 19. George ranging between 10 and 19 degrees. Sutherland 4 degrees, your low, going up to 20 degrees. In the mother city, we're ranging between 10 and 18 degrees today, with some cloud cover expected. Worcester a low of 7 and a high of 24 degrees. Springbok uncharacteristically warm around this time of the year, 11 your low, going up to 25 degrees. Likewise, a sunny day expected in Uppington. Chilly start 6 degrees, but going up to 26 degrees throughout the day. And regardless of the weather in your part of the world, let's hope it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day indeed, and we're going to be chatting about travel because we've got Lee Watts here from Travel Start, and he's going to tell us how we can escape the winter and go and spend a beautiful summer in Europe. We're also catching up with Good Luck as they take us through all the amazing things that's happening with their brand new studio, and we also do some music after the break.
Get to a crazy store in your town this school holiday and discover a treasure trove of arts and crafts for the whole family to enjoy, as always at great value. Paper, paints, modeling clay, sketchbooks, glitter, crayons, aprons, rubber stamps, ribbons, felt tip pens, learn to paint sets, and a whole universe of creative fun at crazy good value. Only at the Crazy Store. Holidaying near or far, there'll be one just about wherever you are.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're not taking a look at anything. We're just having a good time here with Good Luck.
Hello.
In their studio out in Muizenberg.
Hello.
So you guys are packing your bags.
Yes.
Right now, we're literally just having our own chats here off camera and just like you guys are packing your bags. You're getting ready to embark on your next journey. Because it's Travel Tuesday, we thought to let you in on their travel plans. You're going on your Euro tour. You're going to the Netherlands. You're going to be performing at Utrecht, and that's Amsterdam.
Yes,
all right.
very, very exciting.
How was your last tour to Europe?
Our last tour was amazing. In February we went across. We performed, I think it was like 4 or 5 shows all across Holland, different venues, and then in the UK. And we were super excited to be heading back again because Holland's become like a second home for us.
What's the reception there like? I mean, you guys are this really awesome South African band. You get there, you got this really unique sound that I've never heard before. They must really love you guys.
I think it's interesting, you know, like obviously as South Africans you're always thinking that it's going to be about South Africa, and I think in Europe they're actually they care about your culture, but they don't really care about where you're coming from. They just love the music, and they love experiencing something that sounds different and fresh, and the fact that it comes from South Africa is almost just like a secondary thing, and that kind of experience really makes it about what your product is rather than just about, you know, what your story is, and it sort of makes you focus in on how your songs have been written and how you're producing them, and it lifts the whole game, right?
Even better, I suppose, when your product, which is your music, is able to tell the story at the same time, because then you just get in those two birds with one
now
song.
You see what I'm saying. There you go.
So, of the cities that you guys went to visit, which one did you absolutely fall in love with?
I always love Haarlem, which is very close to Amsterdam.
It's very cool.
It's near the beach. And a really nice crowd there. It's kind of Amsterdam. It's like little Amsterdam. It's a little bit more. It's like Stellenbosch to Cape Town, I guess.
We literally get to live the experience when we're over there, you know. We like locals.
Well, talking about living the experience and being like locals, do you guys ever get any time to actually relax and take in the beauty of these places that you go to and spend time at the beach? Because I know you love that.
This trip,
on our last tour.
No, this trip as well. We're not. Maybe on the plane when we're flying over. That's like the one time we can relax.
Looking out the window.
Yeah, we're gonna head off with the Emirates guys, and then we'll land, and then we'll literally go straight into studio, and then when we get into studio, we're writing. And we basically have shows and songwriting and production. And we have a full schedule.
So you're getting ready to go again now to on your tour. You're going to Amsterdam. Tell me about that. What can the people there, I guess, expect from you? What have you got prepared for them?
Well, I think you'll get a little taste of it a little later in the show. But we've been working really hard on our live performance, and we've got a really amazing lighting show that comes with it, and obviously a whole bunch of new songs that we're starting to sort of like filter in. And it's always cool to show our Dutch fans the new music that's coming through.
I think also we're very proud of the fact that we're from Africa and bringing some of the fresh sounds from this continent across. And there's such an amazing interest at the moment in what's happening, you know, sound-wise in Africa. It's like we're the last undiscovered hidden gem.
But we're also finding our sound and being proud of expressing it in the most beautiful way.
I think that's a big part of it, you know, is we're getting a lot more confident with going with what we want to do rather than just like what we think everyone else will like, you know.
Exactly.
Now, guys, the whole time I'm having a chat with Ben, Matthew, and Jules here. They make it sound so romantic, this touring thing, and sounds so easy and simple. But we know that you guys work really, really hard and you work really long hours. What are some of your top survival tips when you guys go out on tour? How do you make it back
Don't drink and drive.
Coffee. We drink quite a lot of coffee. I wish we didn't, but we do.
You got to pick your battles as well. And by that I mean, if you're going to have a party, you need to know that you've got some recovery time afterwards.
Well, to touch on that point, I don't think we're the typical rock band. You know? We literally would wake up early in the morning and rather explore what else is around us.
Than sleep off a hangover.
So we'll play our show. You know,
man, the life of a band, it's absolutely amazing. Well, we're going to be chatting more about some of your favorite destinations to travel to. That's all happening here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's that Travel Tuesday inspiration happening with Good Luck.
Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstar.co.za.
It's Tuesday, that means we're chatting travel, and let's face it, Europe has an allure all its own with culture, old world charm, unlike anything else in the world. I'm talking about places like Portugal, Greece, Italy and Spain are just some of the spots that South Africans seem to seriously consider when heading on a continental break to escape winter for a European summer. And there are, in fact, destinations that offer South Africans great value. Now, Lee Watts from Travelstar joins us this morning to talk about about some of the great deals and so much more. Lee, welcome to Expresso.
Yes.
Listen, it's so good to have you here. European summers are my thing because I just came from a European summer and it was absolutely amazing. I want to know from you, why specifically Europe for South Africans?
I love talking about this. Basically, as we move into July, August, September, we start looking at their summer and our winter. It's a wash with festivals.
It's gorgeous.
And the business side of things is we've seen such an increase in the demand for that particular route. It's Europe that the airlines have come to the party and they've created a plethora of options for us, which has created very favourable pricing, shall we say, in the competitive capacity. So I had a look at what would be awesome to have a look, and I thought to myself, well, you know, what would a European tour be without something like, well, if you can get there this week, Pamplona, running with the bulls in Spain. Or if you can't get there this week and you want to have a look at maybe August, head towards a little city outside of Valencia where they do La Tomatina, where they start throwing tomatoes at you, you know. If you're looking for something a little bit more historic with an architectural edge dating back to the 1500s, maybe something like walking straight out of that cartoon Frozen, you know, maybe walk the city walls of Dubrovnik in Croatia. Amazing. I've got a personal favourite. I've been 3 times, which is in Edinburgh. They've got the Food and Fringe Festival. So you've got global celebrities heading to one eclectic little mix of humans from around the world, not forgetting things like little witchery tours and boutique little events like this. And then I think finally, what would a European tour be without a little bit of beer? So Oktoberfest, which starts in September in Munich. I think what a wonderful way to end that. Just don't go to Oktoberfest, then get on the Autobahn. Not a good idea.
Very good tip. Talking about tips, and one of the things that I realized only after my European trip was planning is essential. You have to plan. You've got to know where you're going and how much it's going to cost you. But what are your tips for planning a European holiday?
So I've got 3 tips. A little shameless self-promotion here. I think first things first, tip number 1, head on over to www.travelstart.co.za. Have a snoop around. I think you'll find some pretty awesome things coming up in the short term. The second tip is please investigate what visas you require.
Yes, please.
And there's also a little bit of a caveat there. You may also require a transit visa. So if you're heading to, let's say, the south of France, but you're going to go via London, please understand that you might need a visa in order just to get through the airport. You don't want to get there and get sent back.
Exactly.
Then the third thing is, contrary to common belief, I think I always look for the flights where you have a 1 or a 2-night stopover. Airlines such as Emirates, Turkish, what they do is they provide you free accommodation, and in some cases they'll even give you a free city break or city tour, so you get sort of double the bang for your buck, as it were.
That's also, and it also takes away the anxiety of having to catch flights or catch a ship or not having enough time, things like that. That's actually brilliant. I want to know from you, in terms of destinations, what advice would you have for someone who's maybe a beach lover, someone who wants peace and quiet, or someone who's maybe a foodie? What destinations would you suggest for those?
Well, you've got to head towards the Mediterranean, right? I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I think Greece, so hot right now. Like Derek Zoolander hot right now. The affordability aspect, the weather, and then, you know, if you love a bit of lamb and yogurt, you know, on you go. I really like the idea of Portugal. Back to the visa issue, no visa required for South African travellers. So this is really super easy to do, very laid back, and quite easy to navigate. I have a friend who refers to it as the Cape Town of Europe, so that's pretty interesting. And then the final one I would think is fan favourites, typically very popular. So Italy and the south of France, if you can afford that sort of thing. You know, great food again, passionate people, and it's those places you never run out of things to do. So you always leave feeling like you need to go back.
Exactly. Well, how can some Travel Start help us get our summer vacation started?
Okay, awesome. So a couple of things I would do is consider what Travel Start is, and for me the unique value add proposition is that we understand what traditional travel agents are, and we've also got this e-commerce based technology solution intuitively designed, which essentially means we've married the two. So if you're comfortable going online, get booking, man. We're going to sort you out. If you feel like you want to splurge a little more, maybe have a bit more of an upper crust experience, get in touch with the Travel Start Live team. That's Travel Start Live. This is a team of individuals with many hundreds of years worth of experience, and what they're able to do is, based on your budget, book your flights, your hotel accommodation, your transport, your insurances. They'll send you on a tour, and if cruising is your thing, they'll help you out with that too.
Stunning stuff, and I can vouch for it as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Lee, you've been awesome.
Thank you.
Can't wait to do Travel Tuesday again next week.
Awesome, thank
you. There you go. Just another amazing way to enjoy hassle-free, budget-friendly getaways with travelstar.co.za.
Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstar.co.za.
Mama Baker's in the house, and by that I mean Gracie Stevens is here. We are doing something. We are flipping the script. We love chocolate. We love chocolate combinations. This is one chocolate combination I've never seen, and certainly not ever seen in a tart formation.
Yes.
Pumpkin chocolate with the most beautiful crust it looks like. This is a tart extraordinaire. What are we making this morning?
We are making, let me see if I can get this right, chocolate pumpkin tart. That's right.
I got it. I got it.
Isn't it amazing?
It does look spectacular. And now that I think about it, it does seem like a very logical, beautiful combination.
Oh,
because
it's amazing.
pumpkin, like butternut, they are sweet, they're delicious, and we're going to make it even sweeter and more awesome. So take us through the process. Let's waste no time. Okay, well, you can start prepping me for what my job is going to be as we prepare mentally to take in this gorgeous tart. We'll see you on the other side of a break.
Science reaches for the truth. It works for the big and small, for the old and young. And with knowledge as our first ingredient, science is at the heart of our food. For differences you can see, feel, and trust. It all starts with science.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Made with lots of love. Chocolate and pumpkin might sound like a slightly odd combination, an odd couple, but when you put them together in a tart and add loads of clover love, we promise you, and it is a promise, that you are on to a winner, and this looks like a winner. I'm looking at the end results. Grace Stevens, our Mama Bake.
Yes.
Our very own Mama Bake we got right here. We're, of course, using our Mama Bake containing 80% fat, which makes it ideal to cook the perfect tart. This is a pretty cool combo, something that I haven't actually encountered before. Something different? Is this normal, natural?
No, this is the perfect pairing because you've got this nice, rich, sweet pumpkin and you've got your dark chocolate, and I think it's just a match made in heaven.
So there is a particular process to follow when it comes to making a tart. So this is a great exercise in learning about how to make a great tart as well as a beautiful flavour combination.
Yeah,
so where do we begin?
So let's begin with our tart base. So I've melted some Mama Bake here and blitzed a whole lot of chocolate biscuits in a food processor. That together.
The crumb and the crunch, and the base of your tart is vitally important.
Oh,
it can obviously absorb flavour, but you need something to cut through the kind of creamy texture as much as anything else
and
of a good tart.
it needs to complement your filling as well, which is why we're using chocolate biscuits. So we're carrying that theme all the way through.
That's going to be the crunch.
Look at that. So this goes into your tart tin, and we're going to press it down firmly and then bake it for about 10 minutes at about 180 degrees, just to make sure that it's 100%.
That we've got the crystal. And there's a little bit of a hack you're using.
Yeah, I'm using the bottom of
because you want it to be nice and flat. And obviously the added bonus with Mama Bake, you're getting a nice source of vitamin A, vitamin D, ideal for all yummy bakes as well. It's a great baking aid, as the name would suggest.
Absolutely. Good flavour as well.
Yeah, and I would just recommend, because it is fresh, it has to be used within 30 days once you've opened it. And when you keep it open in your fridge, obviously you want it to be in an airtight container, but don't keep it next to other odour-giving foods. Don't leave it like an open onion next to it, because it will absorb that. It's fresh. It's must be treated as such.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our basic vibe there.
Needs a little bit of work, but we're going to move on to
But we'll work through it. Okay, so now our tart filling.
The filling needs a little bit of gelatine so that it can set firmly so you can slice it. So I've made it bloom here with a little bit of water, and then I've heated up my clover cream, and then that's just going to melt in there. So you just do that on a stove top.
So you have bloomed it already in the water.
So blooming just means you take the powder and you put a little bit of warm water in it, and you leave it there so that it's not big glops
so it starts to activate. Obviously that's been sitting there for a little while, so you want to kind of do this relatively quickly in the process. Cool.
So this is your time to use your guns. So some stunning full fat cream cheese.
Don't play around.
No, don't play around. And of course you want to beat this up with your pumpkin.
Oh man, just
look at that. So the whisk is over there,
just
Graham.
as awesome as what I would imagine the flavour profile is going to end up.
It's a winter colour, isn't it?
Very cool.
This is a beautiful winter tart. It's stunning. Some cinnamon goes in there because we know that pumpkin and cinnamon are a match made in heaven. I'm going to throw in this melted chocolate.
And I mean, we love to cook with the dark chocolate. Obviously, it has a beautiful chocolate flavour
this
profile,
is about
but
70%. Yeah.
Look at that. The keyword here is clover to 33728. If you'd like us to send this ingredients list directly to your phone, look at that. Oh, it's blending beautifully. Try and get as much of that flavour in as possible.
Last thing that goes in is your cream, your clover cream with your gelatine. So get that in. Mix, mix, mix.
Oh, that smells amazing, apart from anything else.
I'm just getting that lovely winter smells of your pumpkin and your spices and that melted chocolate.
This is comfort food.
This is stunning.
And the nice thing about a tart, if you're kind of breaking into the baking space, it's relatively simple. It's something that's hopefully is kind of flop safe. Okay,
and I mean, if your kids are keen, then just get them involved in the mixing.
The problem, the tasting of this mixture is kind of very tempting. So once we've poured our mixture in, which I assume you're going to do in just a moment, how long does it need to sit?
So you need to pour it into your baked shell, as soon as possible, because that gelatine is going to start setting up, and you don't want to agitate it again after you've totally combined that, because you don't want to. That looks amazing.
Okay.
So I'm just going to carry on doing my tart shell here.
We'll get a smoother mixture. There we go. Do it. The ultimate kitchen utensil is the hand.
Absolutely.
Okay. So So while we put the finishing touches here, again, that keyword is Clover to 33728. SMS that. We'll send you a full ingredients list and a little blow by blow. But let's take you through the process of creating our beautiful pumpkin and chocolate tart.
Step aside pumpkin pie. Chocolate and pumpkin is not a well-known combination, but when you combine them in a Clover chocolate and pumpkin tart, you're in for a taste explosion. Add half a cup of melted Clover Mama Bake to 200 grams of crushed chocolate biscuits. Stir until well combined. Then scrape the crushed buttered biscuits into a tart tin. Press down and spread the biscuits evenly. Then bake at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, stir water through the gelatine and allow to bloom. Next, pour 50 ml of Clover fresh cream into a pot and let it simmer. Then add it to the gelatine. Stir to combine and set aside. Add 500 grams of pureed pumpkin to 250 grams of cream cheese. And whisk to combine. Then add 100 grams of melted chocolate, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt, the gelatine cream mixture, and fold together. Pour the filling onto the biscuit base and set in the fridge to set overnight. Decorate with icing sugar and edible flowers and tuck in. Give your family a winter-themed treat with this delicious Clover chocolate and pumpkin tart.
Made with love by Clover.
A beautiful winter treat indeed. So once we've obviously had our baked base, and now we are putting in our beautiful pumpkin and chocolate filling, which does, I mean, this looks like the most amazing dessert and something that you can kind of prepare one in advance.
You can. You make it the day before, even 2 days ahead, and then just take it out the fridge just before you serve it.
And just guard it while it's in the fridge.
Yes,
how long will it need to set in the fridge?
About 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, so you can do this on the fly.
Yeah. Do it in the morning and then enjoy it for dessert in the evening.
Oh man, I suppose you could even get kind of creative, maybe a bit of white chocolate drizzle or something just to decorate, just have a little bit of fun with that.
And some more Clover cream to decorate as well. Also serve it with the Clover cream.
Oh man, our 80% Clover Mama Bake coming to bear here, but there is a beautiful range for those living healthy, living on the go, whether you just wanted a beautiful slice of freshly baked bread or you want to include it in a beautiful chocolate and pumpkin tart. But of course, for this recipe, the keyword is Clover. SMS that to 33728. I want to have a taste. I cannot wait for 4.5 hours. I don't think. Am I allowed to have a taste? I don't think I am. I don't know if I'm going to have a taste.
Go for it.
Wow. Wow.
Nice, eh?
That is so interesting. That is awesome.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Okay, you can see that this box is on the table. You know what that means? It means it's that time of the morning where we get to dip our Oma, and this time around today we have woken up with good luck. They've invited us into their home. Thank you so much for that, guys. You guys have organized the coffee. I have brought this.
Yeah, thank you.
Brought treats.
Yeah, chocolate chips.
Of Oma rusks. Which are absolutely amazing. Before we get started, I want to find out, what is your favorite Oma rusk flavor?
I've always loved the buttermilk one.
It's a big favorite.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
like
big
the
favorite.
muesli one.
Oh, yes.
Muesli one is also good.
Yeah, and you?
I don't know. I don't want to say it like on TV, but I had no idea there was different rusks flavors.
So
It's like whatever rusks are there.
They're all the same, man.
Whatever is there, you're just like a take it all type of guy. Okay, so tell me, do you dip your Oma in tea or coffee or hot chocolate? Because, I mean, let's be honest, that says a lot about you, where you dip your Oma.
I dip my Oma in tea with a little bit of milk.
No.
He hates tea.
Really?
And he's the only British one in the band.
I can't stand tea. Listen,
So
coffee
where
all
do
the
you
way.
dip? So you obviously dip it in your coffee.
Yeah.
Do the first thing I was offered when I walked in here this morning, myself and the crew, was a rusk. So you guys must dip a lot. So Oma rusks, they've got these really cool cups. You see these mugs with different dipping times on them, and I see you guys each have chosen your own mug that speaks to you most. And my one is morning commute dip over there.
Stuck at work.
Stuck at work dip, because you're always here.
Yeah,
stuck at work.
it applies to me.
What's yours, Ben?
Mine is actually really well. Mine's road trip dip.
Oh.
And Chucky, because you didn't get out of bed so early this morning.
It's bedtime dip. So you're the catnap of this band, basically. And what's besides the times that you've got, the dipping times that you guys have on your mugs, what other dipping times do you guys sort of subscribe to? When else do you dip your own mug?
I think we would do post studio dip, where you just
pre-studio
dip. During,
Not during. We're not allowed food in the studio.
Oh yeah, Ben doesn't let us have food in the studio. It's one rule.
Okay.
It's a good rule.
So you've got the pre-studio dip and the post-studio dip.
Yeah.
You've got to tell me, I mean, everyone has, it's a secret for most people, right? Because I know that I can never dip just one. Just one, and that's it. Can never happen. Like this entire plate on a normal day would be just for one person, me. Wow. How many omas can you dip in one go?
No, I can only handle one.
I only handle one, but you know what is the trick? Is to not let all of it fall in the drink.
Yeah.
So that's a skill. That's a skill.
That is a total technique.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's do this, guys. I just want to see. Each grab a oma. There we go. Okay. Grab your oma, Grab your oma. We're all gonna dip.
Okay.
And I want each of you to give us a hashtag for your oma dip.
Oh my word.
Okay? Think about it while it dips and while it gets nice and soft in there.
Go for a short dip, eh?
Yeah, that was a very short one. That's just definitely not. What's the hashtag for that, sir, Matthew?
Dip it as fast as you can.
Hashtag dip it as fast and as quickly and short as you can. What's yours, Ben?
Till the chocolate. Hashtag till the chocolate's melted.
Ooh, till the chocolate's melted. And Jules, what's yours?
Extra long dip.
Hashtag extra long dip. Take your time. Take your time. Matthew, when you're not sleeping and you're dipping.
I think it's the complete opposite because they love to sleep actually quite a lot.
We were here on time, buddy.
Only because I was in studio till 5:30 in the morning.
This could go on and on and on and on. No judgment over here.
Okay.
It's a new week and it's a brand new chance for you to win big with Oma Rusk. So head on to our Expresso Facebook page. You can see I'm dipping and I can't speak anymore. Our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Tell us what your best memory with Oma Rusks is and why. It really sets the scene for us and we want to hear what that is all about for you. One lucky viewer will win a 2,000 Rand Swatch watch voucher and a 500 Rands worth of Oma Rusks, which is absolutely amazing. There can only be one winner, so make sure that you go and enter on Expresso Morning Show SABC3 on Facebook. Terms and conditions do apply. You can find those on expressoshow.com. Happy dipping.
Anytime is dipping time.
Extravaganza! How's it going? Oh man.
Tabuso is a vibe.
Oh, we're missing Tubbs in studio, but I'm glad that he's being so well taken care of by Good Luck. They've got the most awesome studio, but what they don't have is a chocolate and pumpkin pie. Okay.
Delicious. So you've already taken a bite.
I know,
You're going to
so
have
you're gonna
another
feed
for
me another
anyone
bite.
who missed the tasting process.
Yeah,
Choo choo, chicka 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 chicka. So good. Big or we've got it all. Everyone will find something at the Crazy Store. It's no wonder South Africa considers the Crazy Store the crazy fun place to shop.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a laugh this morning. We've eaten, we've laughed, we've cried, and we've been inspired. In fact, this whole week, we have been celebrating our communities, and we especially love it when our community online get excited about the content here on Expresso. So here are some of your messages that made our day, and it really does warm our hearts.
Exactly. Well, how about this one? One of our favorite viewer photographers, Alan Rudnicki, shared this beautiful photo of a piece of coral.
Wow.
Great photo. How is that, huh?
Insta
Look at the shells, the blue shells, and then the coral. It's stunning.
This is my favorite of teaching Jack at the moment, to take him onto a beach with all the colours and the shapes and the feels, textures, beautiful stuff. Wonderful. Then Henry Klaassen, another very talented viewer, he shared the stunning photo of a painting he did of a shipwreck at Cape Agulhas.
Wow.
Have you ever been to Cape Agulhas?
Is that a painting?
That's a painting.
So good.
I've been to Cape Agulhas and it's awesome, and that really does capture the essence of it. Superb stuff. What a talent, man.
So, you know, we also really love getting those sunrise pics, and it's a big highlight for us here on the show. So we want to shout out to Lindsay Lloyd, who recently sent us a video of a desert sunrise that he experienced at Keetmanshoop, Namibia, while he was there for work. Look at that. Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Talk about a sunrise, huh?
Okay, let's level up that sunrise, shall we? Our regular sunrise photographer, Sam Cross, he sent us the spectacular time-lapse sunrise from Durban. Everyone's on holiday in Durban at the moment. Take a look.
Wow, look at that. And the sun rises, the day begins. How stunning.
Check. Here it comes. Here it comes.
3, 2, 1.
That
there it is.
Stunning.
There she is. Oh,
man.
Wow.
It's
glorious.
worth it. That's our experience of life, is watching the sunrise every day, and it is something quite special. So we're going to end off with some serious cuteness, a cuteness overload. In fact, Craig Watkins shared this video of little baby Kylie pretty much having her own dance party. Take a look. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Bust him over. Come on. Come on.
Do you want to react and then I'll do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
My favorite part was
the neck control kicking in there, the nappy bum up and down. That's too sweet.
God, I love it.
All right, so let's now move back into an inspirational space, get you thinking a little bit. Theatre undoubtedly has a power to honestly but safely deal with explosive subject matter. Certainly here in South Africa's history, it's been used to great effect, and it does it in a way which no other form of storytelling really comes close to. It allows characters in a space to confront each other with tough things, tough concepts which need to be discussed, while we, the audience, obviously get to watch and feel and think through those things, and from the safety of our seats to boot. So the latest subject which theatre has turned its focus onto right now are the fellow citizens of our continent living in this country. Very thought-provoking in a production called Frontiers.
Frontiers is staged at the Market Theatre in Johannesburg. It's a collection of testimonies of people from all over Africa now living in South Africa. The play has gained so much love and adoration because it tackles social ills head on, and I'm here to find out how.
This play looks past the convenient labels of nationality or language too often used to blame foreign nationals for problems. Director Mabatu Monso introduces the human beings behind the labels.
Mabatu, this is your debut as a theatre director. How has it been?
Well, translating from film and television to theatre has been quite an interesting journey. I've taken the principles that I know of storytelling from the different mediums and kind of applied it here.
So how did you achieve telling the story with regards to the set, the props, and actually breaking the fourth wall of theatre?
What I wanted to liberate myself from was to sort of try and induce a specific feeling in an audience, but rather to say, what is the truth of this moment? What truth are we trying to achieve? And because it's a personal testimony, it almost begs to break the fourth wall. What we did try to do, though, was with Lindiwe's character, is to have a face away from the audience to sort of reflect that inaccessibility of home affairs.
what would you love to tell all South Africans? Because you have literally opened up a conversation with this amazing play, Frontiers.
These stories are true. And we met some of the people who gave these testimonies. So it was a huge responsibility. I do think the story dictates the form that it must take.
I'm with the artistic director of the Market Theatre, James Nwawa. Why was it so important for you to commission this play?
I commissioned it because I was quite excited by its testimonial kind of sense. Also dealing with the metamorphosis of this country that started in 1994 when we opened our borders to the rest of the continent. And when people come to South Africa, they also bring with them their stories.
I mean, you a fountain of knowledge. What do you have to say to someone that hasn't been to the theatre or hasn't watched Frontiers?
Theatre is not for the chosen few. Something that is inherent in all of us. We are descendants of people that sat around the fire and told each other stories. A need to be told a story is something that we all have in us, and this is what we do. We tell stories.
Bobby, you're the playwright behind this thought-provoking play, Frontiers. Tell me what inspired writing this amazing play.
But I have always wanted to bring issues around migration onto the stage. And I am also very keen on using personal testimony, because I feel that if I'm doing theatre for social change, why can't people tell their own stories? I did more than 20 interviews for this particular play, and every single person said they don't want to be here. They would far prefer to be where they're living. And I think there's a misconception that South Africans have, that people sort of pack up their bags, pack up their children and want to come to South Africa. I'm not saying that there is not a percentage of refugees in South Africa who simply want to be here, want to live here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think that in most cases people are here because of forced circumstance. I think as South Africans, we do not have a very good knowledge of our continent. We just don't. There are 54 countries, each with a very specific history.
This opportunity to connect with the public is one with Charlie Azade and Tantarai Chi and Tico could not pass up.
My character is the Zimbabwean activist, and I happen also to be Zimbabwean. This activist is a political activist. It's pretty much me, in a way, retelling his story in this production, like retelling it to a wider audience, so that people can sort of get a sense of how he ended up having to come to South Africa, and that it was not his choice, but he had to come here because his life was in danger.
Yes, my character is Cameroonian. His name is Atta, and he was an activist in Cameroon, a teacher as well. And his activism, of course, put him in a lot of trouble. That's why he decided to move in South Africa. And as you know, South Africa, he had to go through a lot of challenges.
That was so heartwarming as well as thought-provoking in one. Frontiers at the Market Theatre. I'm so glad I came to watch it. You should too.
We've been building towards it all morning. To be starts living his best life with Good Luck in their studio. We're going to put that beautiful studio to the ultimate test with a performance by one of the best electronic bands in the business.
Yeah. Good luck after the break.
What do you mean, like good luck? Or good luck?
Enjoy a moment in between with McAfee. See you after the break.
Cadbury Dairy Milk shines a light on the generosity alive in each of us. Bring your old toys to any of Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up Little Generosity shops in major centres this winter and receive a slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Get to Cape Town's Canal Walk Little Generosity shop from the 19th of July to the 5th of August with your toys, and let's inspire a little more Cadbury Dairy Milk goodness in the world.
Well, it's been such a vibe here at the Good Luck headquarters on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and they've set the mood this entire morning with what's going to be happening here now. You've got this amazing performance coming up. It is a brand new track, and it is currently available on all streaming platforms.
It is. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all of them, Jukes, everything.
Yeah. Listen to it, jam to it. It's called Waiting For You, featuring DJ Ganyani, otherwise known as Ganyizels, you said?
I call him Ganyizel when I call him. Hey, Ganyizel!
Take it away, take it away.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.